I was recently watching the movie Sully, where a pilot lands his damaged plane on the Hudson River to save the passengers and the crew. This movie is based on a miraculous real life event. But this got me thinking about the airlines industry. So, in this video today, let's find out whether the airlines industry is worth investing in. Did you know that only 5% of the world's population has ever been on an airplane? Recently, the airlines around the world have been in use for both good and bad reasons. There are a lot of cancellations and delays. Luggage are lost. You must have heard the news about the situation at London Heathrow Airport. Pilots and crew are overworked and don't want to fly. Queues are longer at the airport. And generally speaking, it has been quite an experience for the passengers around the world. In India, particularly, there is a lot happening. Akasa Air, which is 40% owned by Rakesh Jhunjunwala, started its operations in August this year. The DGCA asked SpiceJet to operate at 50% capacity due to a series of events, and life coming in full circle with Tata taking over the operations of Air India. We'll divide this video into 3 segments. We'll do the industry analysis to see whether there's potential for growth in this sector. Then we'll try to understand the airline business and see the revenue model. And finally, we'll look at the airlines in India. India's aviation industry is largely untapped with huge growth potentials, considering the fact that air transport is still costly for a majority of the population, out of which 40% is the upwardly mobile middle class. In 2010, 79 million people traveled to, from, or within India. In the next 7 years, by 2017, this number had doubled to 158 million, and this is expected to go up to 520 million by 2037. In the year 21-22, the airports in India saw a 58% jump in the domestic traffic and a 118% jump in the international traffic compared to the last year. Currently, the country has 131 operational airports. India aims to have 220 new airports by 2025. India's aviation industry is expected to witness 35,000 crore investment by 2026. You see, with the air passenger traffic projected to increase, India's aviation industry is on a high growth path. There are 4 types of airlines in the world: full service, low cost, charter, and cargo. Full service carriers have multiple service classes like the first class, business, and economy, and they offer a suite of pre-flight and onboard services like the Qatar Airways and Lufthansa and others. Low-cost airlines aim to minimize the cost of travel to make it economical. They use smaller fleets and smaller aircrafts. They cut down on services like the in-flight meal. Some low-cost airlines even charge for a bottle of water inside the plane. For example, IndiGo is a low-cost airline operating in India. Charter airline is a service in which instead of reserving a seat, you can reserve an entire plane. For example, Elite Airways and NetJets. Do you want to see how much it will cost you to charter a flight from New Delhi to Mumbai? For example, this 3 hour 45 minutes 7-seater charter flight will cost you upwards of 12 lakh rupees. And fourth, cargo airlines. These are the airlines that offer cargo transportation. Some big airlines offer both passenger as well as cargo service, like Lufthansa. Now, FedEx, DHL, and Amazon also run their own cargo airline. The revenue model of an airline company is very similar to the hotel industry because they both work on the occupancy rates. The revenue can be divided into 2 parts: the passenger revenue and the cargo revenue. Passenger revenue is equal to available seat miles into load factor into revenue per mile. Available seat miles, or ASM, captures the total passenger capacity of the airline in miles. So for example, if the airline has 350 seats and it's flying for 1200 miles, then it will generate 4,20,000 ASMs for that particular flight. Now it's critical that the seats are available for sale. If out of 350 seats, only 310 seats were sold, then the airline would generate 372,000 ASMs, not the 420 ASMs that we saw earlier. Similarly, the seats for crew members are also to be excluded because those are not revenue generating seats. The load factor is a percentage indicating how effective the airline is at selling seats and earning revenue. In the last example, 310 seats sold out of 350 means the load factor is 88.6%. The higher the load factor, the better it is for the company. Richard Branson once mentioned that the quickest way to become a millionaire by running an airline business is to start as a billionaire. Now, it's very difficult to run a profitable airline business. Let's see why. The first reason why airlines are not able to generate consistent profit is because their ratio of the fixed cost is very high. The employee and the salary cost, the lease charges for the aircraft, the maintenance cost are all major expenses for the airlines. And these are all fixed costs, which means these costs will be incurred even if the airline is not operating at full capacity. Another reason for low profitability is low margins due to cutthroat competition. The airlines offering passenger service want to increase their load factor, and thus they need to offer competitive prices. Again, the taxes and the charges paid by them for using the airport facilities is very high. And this is even when the airport traffic and the passenger traffic is increasing every year. The demand for airline business historically has been seasonal. There is huge passenger traffic during the holiday times and festivals and summer vacations. There are also external factors on which the airline company has no control, but it can severely impact their business, like the travel restrictions during COVID. IndiGo is the largest passenger airline in India. The airline is known for its low-cost, on-time flights. However, if you have been traveling recently, you would have noticed that their flight delays have increased considerably. Vistara is a full-service domestic airline which was ranked 20th in the list of world's best economy class airlines in 2022. And there are other players in the market as well, like Go First and SpiceJet and Air India. Let's take a deeper look into IndiGo. We'll look at its cost management strategies and operational efficiencies to understand the differentiating factor between IndiGo and other players in the market. IndiGo has been strictly adhering to the low-cost playbook of operating a single aircraft type. It has stuck with Airbus A320s for over 15 years now. As of 2022, the fleet now consists of A320s and a few ATR 72 and A321s. A common fleet with single type of seat configuration has helped in high employee productivity and lower cost in terms of training and maintenance. Even the spare parts have less diversity, which means they can be better streamlined with lower cost. While placing the order for aircrafts, IndiGo has always been placing bulk orders. In June 2005, it placed the first order of 100 aircrafts. Bulk orders give better bargaining power to the airlines. In October 2019, it placed another order for 300 Airbus A320 aircrafts, which makes it one of the largest orders by a single airline operator. In the airlines industry, it's a known fact that the plane is not making any money while it's on the ground. The turnaround time is the time that passes since the landing until the takeoff for the new flight. Now, IndiGo has lower the turnaround time compared to the industry benchmark. If you have traveled with IndiGo, you must have noticed that they have only female crew members, and you must be wondering why. Now, the reason is because the weight of the female crew members is on an average 15 to 20 kgs less than the male crew members. You know, the plane needs extra fuel to carry extra weight, and IndiGo saves around 3 crore every year just because they have only female crew members. Let's see the stock performance. In the last 1 year, comparing Jet Airways, SpiceJet and IndiGo, none of the airline companies has given positive return. But if you look at the lifetime returns, IndiGo has given a positive return of 78% versus the negative return from SpiceJet and Jet Airways. With all this information, what is your take on investing in airline industries? A rising middle-class population, healthy competition among low-cost carriers, infrastructure improvement at leading airports, and supportive policy framework has given a positive push to the aviation industry in India. But you see, even though the industry growth inspires confidence, I am not yet convinced about the return that these airline stocks can generate. Currently, I don't have any airline stocks in my portfolio. Tell me, what is your take on these airline companies? I hope you got to learn something new in this video. If you enjoyed watching this video, then go hit that like button. It gives me a feedback on whether you like such videos or not, and it also helps YouTube algorithm. We do such financial education videos every week, so do subscribe if you want to grow your wealth. Wrapping it up, this Paritosh signing off.